help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Spanning the dumpsters to bring you the constant variety of filth to come out of Hollywood. This is Disasters in the Making. How's everybody doing? I'm Brad Slager, and this is your early introduction to the weekend as we are going to guide you through the muck and the mire and the back alleyways of Hollywood with our cinematic filth. Our garbage, our nonsense that we usually find for these shows. But it's not going to be just me rummaging through the refuse, because joining me from ScreenRant.com, as always, is Paul Young. What's going on, Paul?
Hey, dude. What's shaking, man?
Yikes. We'll get to this in a moment. But yes, we are approaching the, we're not even at the midway point yet of Olympic glory taking place in Paris, France at the moment. And like we always try to do on this program, we tie in our movie selection with something taking place either in theaters or in the headlines. And well, the Olympics are in the headlines. Would you not agree, Paul?
I know you. Pork Chop Hill, right? You were there.
This is not an AI version of Paul, by the way. We will have an explanation for this in a moment. I'm dying to hear, what other nuggets do you have for us, Paul?
Funny hat, big bazooka, right? That's not normal American conversation. Is that not how normal American conversation goes? I hope that's what this movie thinks normal American conversation goes.
I hope you're reading this off a crumpled piece of paper that's folded in half.
I'm reading this off of his crumpled piece of paper that I took a screenshot of.
I
know. Look, I was dying. I rewound that part of the movie, and I watched it maybe 3 or 4 times because it was so ridiculously terrible.
There's so much magic going on there, but there's so much magic throughout this film.
But I had multiple options here. I gave you 3 solid selections for us to choose from. They were all Olympic Paris related. The first one, From Paris with Love, John Travolta's solid choice.
So that was a big no.
Paris. It's a big no. We didn't go with that one. But there was the James Coburn Golden Girl from 1979. Have you watched any part of that? Did you watch that trailer?
Chick movie.
God, it was so bad, dude. That lady, she's like running down an empty hallway like she's in a low budget Inception film, trying to do a gymnastic flip in a terrible looking onesie. I'm like, this is going to be great.
But you see, you're operating from the standpoint that I was disappointed in our selection. I was not.
I mean, I never looked back. Once I found Dolph Lundgren riding a horse wearing tight pants, bro, Every other movie
helmet
fell to the
that's
wayside.
not his size.
It was not his, definitely not his size.
This is totally a great selection. So we are talking about the 1994 offering entitled Pentathlon. And if you haven't heard about it, if you're not familiar with it, perfectly understandable. That just means you're leading a proper and upright existence, unlike Paul and myself. Because this never even made it to theaters. This is straight to video, and I don't even think it even went straight. It probably meandered and took a couple of left turns to get into a blockbuster. I guarantee you probably no more than 2 or 3 copies at the biggest blockbuster you could find.
I wish I could find a copy of this. This would be amazing.
It's not good.
No,
but
it doesn't know
in
what
all the
it wants
right
to be.
ways. This is an effort in which they try to do quite a number of things and fail at all of them, but they try to honor the glory of athletics. They try to deliver international intrigue. Let's shoehorn some romance, and then let's go with some violence and thriller elements with neo-Nazis and
terrible acting.
None of it works.
I mean, this movie revolves around multiple major incidences in the world. It starts in 1988 Seoul, Korea Olympics. It moves on to the 1989 dropping of the Berlin Wall. And then later they're talking about the 1996 Atlanta Olympics. But it's only 1992, right?
Yeah, but I think we have to allow for a lengthy period of sullen hamburger flipping sadness.
Yeah, but he's not working out or exercising this whole time. He's still pulling to his leg when he's originally starting to run. I'm supposed to believe he doesn't go into shape cooking burgers and fries.
No, he got in shape, Paul, through the magic of Tiger Asics gel sneakers.
Yeah.
That's
Speedo. Didn't he say in Speedo like one of those things? But they bypass the Barcelona Olympics entirely, and they go right to him trying to compete for the 96. This movie is everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably explain it to you this way. That makes perfect sense, because when you consider, well, basically there was no budget, so they had to shoot local, is what it comes down to. I mean,
it got an official theatrical release, in Korea?
Yeah, I think Korea, because that's where it ostensibly was set at the beginning.
No, Singapore.
Hungary, I think, was one.
Singapore, Indonesia. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, not a big money maker, we're going to say. No, this one didn't generate a lot. I will say this, though. I'm not oblivious to the Olympics. I'm very familiar. I watch the Olympics. Well, I used to. This year, I really don't care. My apathy, I barely even recognize it was starting this year. That's where my head's at. There's a lot of other stuff happening, but I might dip in. I like fencing and stuff like that occasionally, so I might watch a couple of things. I'm more a Winter Olympics guy. So,
well, my son and I we're waiting to watch the pole vaulting competitions on the track and field.
Well, there you go. Natural,
because he's a pole vaulter. The weird part is that you can watch the women's pole vaulting for the qualifiers to get in for the U.S. team, but there's no videos or anything to watch the men's qualifiers. It's really odd.
You might need Peacock, because they do.
No, that's on Peacock. They don't have the men's available. They just have the women's. It's really odd.
That's weird.
Yeah,
because they were doing. I was just zooming through for research purposes, and most of the sports, if you go on it live, they'll do a 4-screen live shot of the quality. They had Saturday. I saw fencing. They had 4 matches going on at the same time. It was almost like the red zone for French.
Is there some sort of big controversy going on with the fencing, or somebody got kicked out that didn't need kicked out, or somebody won, or you got men going in there boxing against women.
Well, that was in boxing yesterday. They had a somebody who's a biological male. There's still some controversy about this. They're not really trans. They're like dual gendered or something like. Basically, they have XY chromosomes and beat the living crap out of a female.
Yeah, and they say it's okay and falls within the rules because their passport says female on it. Yes. Like, I didn't realize that's all you needed. We could get Hulk Hogan to go get a passport that says female, and it'd be like an actual scene from South Park.
That's the weird thing is South Park called it, didn't they? Yeah. And I think they've got biological males competing in weightlifting too. Guess where my money's going?
Right? We're gonna make all sorts of money.
So that's and they have another controversy too, where they're the triathlon. This is the marathon, biking, swimming, running competition. They're supposed to do the swimming in the Seine River. I don't know. Aggie's going to beat me up about this one.
Insane.
They won in Paris, but they haven't been able to swim because it's so damn polluted.
But you know, that's ripped straight from a movie that we just watched. You realize that, right?
What, the polluted river?
Yeah, the climate movie that we just watched. Where what was it? The alligator or the shark? The shark swimming around in the river. Did you not watch that one?
Oh, you mean Deep Paris, right?
Yes.
I can't believe they still let him swim after that release. But yeah, that was that was a current release. Under Paris. Sorry. That was actually like in the top 10 for a couple weeks.
Yeah, that movie ends with the river being unswimmable and the whole world on fire.
Well, this one was they spent a crap ton of money to clean the river up, and the mayor even went swimming in it. See, it's perfectly safe. I'm perfectly fine. And then it rained, flushed all the crap right back into the river, and it was polluted when the game started. So,
Paris is a dirty, dirty city.
They Aggie and I talked about this on our show Tuesday night. She was explaining. She's like, yeah, if you go outside of the main circle area, it's a crap hole. It's basically San Francisco. It's like, ew.
Mm-hmm. No, thank you.
But they did finally do the swimming component for the triathlon, and one of the swimmers got out, and she said, "Yeah, we're going to find out if anybody got sick." She says, "I was swallowing water, and it was not Coke."
Oh, God, that's so gross.
Yeah, she said at one point we were swimming under a bridge, and I was actually hitting debris in the water, and I don't want to tell you what I think it was.
Oh, boo-poo.
So the Olympic glory is washing over Paris this go around.
Ooh la la.
But yeah, I got to plead ignorance. I wasn't all that aware of pentathlon, so I had to do a little research on it.
Well, it is the last movie ever directed by Bruce Malfuth. I didn't know who that was. They made it sound like it was his last ever, movie before he passed away. I'm like, who is that? And then you go back and look, and it's he's the director from Hard to Kill. Okay, let's go, Bruce.
You have my attention.
But the fact this movie is written by a guy whose only writing credits included one episode of L.A. Law and some weird movie called Trade Secrets tells you it's going to be awesome.
I really think I'm not, this is speculating here. We don't have the research to back this one up because, like Paul mentioned, there really isn't a lot for this film. It feels like to me they started with Dolph Lundgren. Like, we got this towering Swedish guy with a massive physique and just top to bottom muscle. We gotta do something for him. How about an Olympics movie? Good idea. Any of them involve him riding a horse?
I'm sorry.
I think maybe. So yeah, the pentathlon. I should have. Damn it. I meant to say the screenshot at the beginning, but
the best part of them casting Lundgren as a pentathlete is pentathletes are not generally tall and muscular. So I admit some ignorance here. When I saw pentathlon, I thought, okay, it's 5 sports. Then I went and I looked at the sports. You know what sports they are, right? Because I didn't know this.
Yeah, they're really obscure. Swimming, running, okay, got me. Shooting with a pistol. Okay. Fencing. What? And then horseback riding. Like
Show
steeplechase. Yeah,
dressage. Now they actually talk about, they got like a little disclaimer or something at the beginning that explains why these 5 sports represent pentathlon. Am I saying that right? It's pentathlon.
I think he just invented a word, and I love it.
Pentathlon. It has something to do with what the French is it French? Was it French? Is it like French soldiers?
Well, I think it was. I want to say it was. Well, I think it was a Frenchman that was reconstituting the Olympics back in the 1800s.
Baron Pierre de Coubertin.
That sounds French to me. And the intention was to replicate the skills that a military general had to employ. So when fighting his enemy, he had to ride into battle on his horse. Hand-to-hand combat with an épée. Okay. Pistol shooting makes sense. Swimming. I'm not exactly sure if and when that became an issue, but
so essentially, here's what I learned. When the original Olympic Games, the ancient ones going way back, right? It was a foot race, wrestling, long jump, javelin, and discus. Okay, those all make sense because you think of a pentathlon as more track and field oriented. But it wasn't until the games got picked back up in 1912 that they came up with this officer version of the game, where it basically is for things. But you'll notice.
I can read you the title card. I got it up here.
Oh, yes.
It says in 1896, called it, Baron Pierre de Coubertin revived the Olympic Games and invented a sport that glorified the skills of the soldier, the pentathlon. To deliver battle plans, the soldier/messenger would ride his horse, defend himself with sword. They are italicizing, by the way, here. And pistol, swim across rivers, and run swiftly to the battlefield to fulfill his mission. Did they only have one soldier? What the hell?
I don't know, but it gets weirder. So they changed the format of this thing in 1996. So it used to go over 4 or 5 days long. In 96, right? That's pretty recent. It went to 1 day. They're doing all 5 activities in 1 day. And then people complained and said that wasn't, they were trying to get more people to watch it. And they said, oh no, you don't have enough time to recover between events. I'm like, you're shooting and riding a horse. Then in 2016, they moved it all to one venue. So now they're not moving around to multiple venues. So I don't know how they're like riding a horse and swimming at the same time. And in this Summer Olympics, this 2024, they are now condensing the entire program to 90 minutes. You've got to do everything in 90 minutes and you get eliminated during the process.
Oh, wow.
And then in 2028, it's eliminated from the Olympics altogether.
Yeah, they said they've been looking to get rid of it. It keeps kind of lingering. This is what I can't figure out. I was looking back. I was like, who the hell's even in this thing? And like the last 4 or 5 Olympiads, for some reason, Lithuania is almost always on the medal stand.
Well, and if you look at them, they're thin. They have an athletic build. They're not overly tall. They're made to sit on a horse and not make the horse hurt. They're made to fly through the water. They have a smaller demeanor. They cast Dolph Lundgren, who's like 6'5", built like an East German. He's built like the ideal East German is what he looks like.
He's kind of built almost like a robotic Russian boxer.
Yeah, and he stands out. Like every time they show him at the cross country, the only person he matches up with is his other DDR counterparts. Everybody else is like this thin framed cross country runner. You know, they probably burn off 10,000 calories a day or some nonsense and weigh nothing. This dude's weighing in at like he's 6'6", 240 pounds.
Yeah, that poor horse. That's all I can say. So yeah, this is where I think they said, man, he looks great on camera. What can we have him do? How about everything? Sure, let's go with everything. Perfect.
Everything.
So we start in the romantic and beautiful vista of 1980s East Germany. And damn, this is like harsh. Now I had to laugh, but it might even be points for accuracy here, though. It begins with a bunch of boys, look like 8 to 10-year-olds, maybe 12, running a marathon, part of which is uphill. I'm just struck by the cinematography or lack thereof, because they're basically running in a slag heap. And at one point, it looked like they were going right through fertilizer manure piles. It just, okay. And all along the course, it's laid out with the East German flag. And boy, do they hammer this home.
Oh, my gosh.
East Germany, you must parade the flag. The flag is what you look at. Look at the flag. The flag is magnificent, the flag.
Run your cross-country event as a 10-year-old while holding a flag.
The boys have it in their hand while running. So we're following this through the credits, and they're scaling up a slope towards the finish line, and one of the kids falls down about 10 feet from the finish line.
Yeah, he's like winning and just falls down and never gets back up.
Like a hardcore face plant or anything like. It's like he just kind of,
wilted.
His ankle buckled and he just fell down, and he's like, and then one by one, all the other boys pass him up. And he's looking at the finish line right in front of him. He's like, and the boys all finish. They all get flags and start waving them. He's still 10. He's now standing up and refusing to walk over the line. It's like, cattle prod something. It's right there.
If he had just reached out, if he had taken one step and fallen, he would have crossed the finish line.
Yeah, just like get up and stumble and jump, and you're over. You're fourth place at the very least. But no, let's let all 16 boys pass me up, and then I'll just whine. As a result, the coach starts berating him, and then grabs him, pulls him aside, and has him look at, I don't know, it's like a water treatment facility or something that had the flag flying over it. And he's like, there it is. Behold, this is what you are doing your life for, Germany. Look at it.
And the thing is there's parents everywhere watching. There's an audience watching.
Yeah.
Everybody, and for whatever reason, everybody's wearing a suit. And so,
middle of the day, blazing sun, 3-piece suits.
And the coach
on top of a muddy hill.
And the coach slaps the kid in the face like hard. And then he walks away. Excuse me. The kid walks off all dejected and walks up to this old man, and he goes, "It's okay, Eric. I am your father. Irish reporter." I'm like, dude, if I got some man slapping my kid, we're about to go tumbling down that hill. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Paul,
I'm gonna stab you in the ear hole.
See, this is your typical Americanism coming through, because you wouldn't be lipping off to the SS in East Germany like that. It just wouldn't happen, okay? You're cocky little American that you are. No.
It's like a scene from The Office.
The DDR is running the show, and if I'm going to slap your child, you shut up and watch me do so. So he brings him over to Dad. Dad's consoling him and hugging him, and it's like, "I'm so sorry, son. Yes, that's it. I'm really sorry you're assassinated tomorrow, but I love you anyway." Then the other guy comes back and basically just looks at Dad. There's no words exchanged or anything. Puts his arm around the boy and walks him away like, that's it. He belongs to DDR now.
Yeah, you don't get him. He's gone.
Now, they don't explain this, but we can pick up clues that this is kind of the coach the kid lost. He came in last place, and the coach chooses him. Huh? Like, what? Okay. I guess he saw something in his eyes. But we then flash to current day and find out this young lad turns into the massive strapping form that is Dolph Lundgren. And he's the hope of East Germany. He's the prize and joy of the nation in a sport that nobody knows existed.
But somehow it's got like a gigantic audience.
Okay. Sure. And along the way, we get kind of sort of a peek into the way the East German athletic machine operated. Cheating is basically what I'm saying here. Yes, I'm going to go out and say it. Sons of bitches cheated. I mean, this was the country, by the way, that in the 70s and 80s, it was a scandal because East German women were breaking all kinds of swimming records, basically because they were able to grow mustaches and everything else because they were pumping them up with testosterone like mad. I mean, it was like girls that didn't compete for 4 years and they're showing up at the Olympics and just taking every gold medal possible. And I think it was Shirley Babishoff at the time. She got a little mouthy about this. She was like saying, "Oh, there's something ain't right here. Okay, we're sharing locker rooms with these women, and for a while the press was saying, she's a sore loser. Oh, this American, she just can't take it." And then they finally got around to running blood tests and basically started stripping medals because these women qualified as men.
Yeah, the Riley Gaines of that generation.
Yeah. So this was happening, but now we start to see, Dolph has got a couple buddies of his that are also on the East German team, and they're getting blood infusions and other things, but Dolph refuses because he wants to win pure.
Well, you missing. We skipped over a very vital portion of when they're out there eating together. They're having a meal, and he gets up and asks to swap his jacket with one from the USA team. He wants to swap his CBR jacket for the USA.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet. We're still watching.
I thought that was before the blood doping.
No, it was like right around the same time. They were like introducing that during their training, and then once they got to the Olympics, I mean, we're almost at the same spot though, but sure. But we start to really get introduced to the coach, and he's
played the coach. I know I'd seen him before.
This cracked me up, David Soul, and I think he was the best performer in this.
He was definitely the most. Took his role seriously. Oh, he just passed away. Sure,
but he had, I think, a passable German accent. It wasn't over the top, and Ike, mine, Nick, Mike. No, he didn't do that. He was very modulated. In fact, he played him so cold at times, just like speaking really with a low undertone that was menacing. I'm going to give him that. It's like, damn, David. Okay, I'm paying attention to your DDR police state.
Wasn't he Hutch in Starsky and Hutch?
Don't give up on us, baby.
It's sad. He just passed away.
I do recall, yes. Starsky and Hutch lost half of it, so alas. But here he is playing a German. I'm really curious about the casting. Like who thought, let's get David Soul to play the monstrous German police guy?
Well, he is from Chicago, Illinois, so maybe
that's a stretch. But he was pretty good in this, and we're following the athletes, but they have this smattering of East German thugs. That's all we can say. They're all part of the police force. The ones that oversee it, and every aspect of their lives is controlled, and they're at the Olympic Village and they're eating, and the athletes are, kind of making fun of one of the thugs because the way he's eating or something. But I didn't really understand what he was doing that was so hilarious. But I guess these guys are just looking for anything that qualifies as comedy, so give it to them.
Well, it was almost as if they wanted Lundgren and his pal to act like young teenagers.
Yeah.
Like early 20s Gen Zers making fun of the Gen Xers sitting over there stuffing his face like a cow, and just kind of making fun of him. That's what it felt like. But I think when he made this movie, Lundgren was like in his 30s.
Pretty close. Yeah. I think he's got like 10 years on me. So yeah, had to be pretty close to that. But this is kind of a ham-fisted way of showing his countering authority, I guess, making fun of the police guys, the security team. But at one point, then he does get up and want to exchange jackets with some of the American athletes. So there's a table of 4, and starts talking. It's like, "Hey guys, how's you doing? I would like to switch my jacket with your jacket and such." And he's talking.
They're terrible.
Yeah. And Lundgren, I don't think he barely speaks for about the first hour of the film, really. Every so often. I mean, he mutters a couple lines here and there, but there's not real dialogue pouring out of this guy. And as he's doing this jacket exchange, security guys and the coach comes up and they're like, "Excuse me, you don't talk to him. No, we are not doing this." And one of the athletes is a black guy. He's like, "Hey, man, just back off, lighten up. What the hell's going on?" He's like, "Black man, you don't talk to me."
Yeah, you don't talk to me, black man.
I'm like, you are black. I don't talk to you. Something like that. I was like, Jesus. All right. I think he's the bad guy. So this happened, and we start to get a feel for things that Dolph Lundgren is. He's got his eye on the door, Paul. I can feel it.
Oh, he's doing something. This movie includes a topic that is not really discussed in this setting, but defecting back then was like a pretty big deal. Defecting
it was all the rage.
In the 80s, defecting in the 80s was huge, but in the the late 80s, the only place you could defect from would be East Germany.
Yeah, there was Cuba, Russia, basically any communist regime at the time, and those were pretty much the 3 big ones. China, but China managed to keep a clamp on people. You didn't see them defecting too often.
Mm-mm. They weren't fooled by crappy American one-liners.
So this is about the time where he's getting mouthy with the coach and telling him, "No, you're not doping me. I'm going to win honestly." And so his first indication of wanting to maybe check other horizons. During one of the shooting matches, he looks over his shoulder and he starts to get a little cow-eyed with one of the female athletes from America. I think this may have inspired him as much as anything else. So one night he pulls on the USA jacket, jumps some windows, scales some vines, and he's got armed with him a sheet of paper with all these American catchphrases, as you heard Paul utter at the opening of our show.
And I don't even understand what they're supposed to be. Like, I guess it's supposed to be his way of saying things that he knows so that he looks American.
I think he was trying to come off as casually American, but the thing is, when he gets to the USA compound, he's talking to South Korean guys. So
yeah.
It's just like, "Hey guys, how about that Alf? Nutty alien, yeah?"
Like
something.
I know you, Pork Chop Hill, right? You were there. What's that even mean? He says that to a South Korean guard.
And the guy lights up. He's like, yes, that's what you must be American. Go on in. How the hell did that work?
Okay, so Pork Chop Hill is a 1959 film, and it's the Battle of Pork Chop Hill. It's in Korea, 1952. So, bro, you've got to know your history to understand this reference in the movie. Good gravy.
He's talking to a soldier who was there 40 years ago, and you're not even 40 yourself.
Yes, what the heck? And then funny hat, big bazooka, right? What does that even? What does funny hat, big bazooka mean?
I would go with a double entendre, but he's not even talking to a woman, so I don't know.
That's big bazooms.
However, he gets into the compound, and then things turn creepy instantly. He just
So creepy.
he just like walks right into one of the rooms of the female athlete while she's toweling off. She's getting dressed. She's in a bra and panties and pulling on. He just walks right in and starts a conversation like he's Joe Biden.
Now, at first I thought, okay, they're being coy. It's a thing they're doing. It's a little role playing because he's pretending like, he's not supposed to be there, and she's pretending like she doesn't want him there, and it's a little Hallmarkish with the way they're talking to each other. And then like 30 seconds in, you're like, holy crap, he's just in her room. Like this, he just shows up when her roommate comes in, and then she just walks away.
She's the smart one. Before this, the only thing they did was like he was looking over his shoulder, and that's it. Like looks at her through the glass, and he's like, "There's American hotness."
And did you notice the camera angles on this particular scene? It's completely different from everything else in the film, but like they're talking directly into the camera. Like they're like when the camera's facing them, it's generally off to the side, or they're pretending the camera's not there. They're talking beyond it. This one, they're talking right at the camera, and whenever he talks, it's looking right at his face, and whenever she talks, it switches as if to hit that point of view. It was really weird. Did you notice that at all?
Yeah, I think that might be because they were shooting in that room and it looked really small. I mean, this was not even a spacious hotel room. This looked like a little cell, like bed, wall, and that's about it. So
it couldn't be any smaller than the rooms they're giving them in Paris right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they probably had a stationary camera. We could shoot her and get her in the corner kind of, and then him, that's it. We saw him walk in, and that's about all we got. But this scene should have been like their third meeting. Like, hey, I finally broke out so we could have time together. No, this is, how you doing? You are American girl, yes. I mean, it is basically just barged into this girl's room and is like, hi, I'm from country other.
And he basically says, she's like, you need to leave. He's like, come on, man. Hey, dude. He's like, I risked everything to come over here and talk to you.
And she's like, yeah, what? You got to get your ass out of here. And the very next thing he says is, so we kiss now, yes?
Yeah.
This girl should have been screaming her lungs off right then and there. And then meanwhile, her roommate comes in, interrupts him, and she's just like, okay, yeah, this is really uncomfortable. I'm not can I help my friend? Is everything okay, Tina? Can I help? No, it's just like, I'm out of here. Bye. Zip. And okay, I need to shower off after this scene.
And then he leaves. He leaves they're 2 stories up, and he just jumps out the window. And you hear him land with a thud.
He's okay, I'm leaving now. She's like, but we're on the 2nd floor. He's like, yes, I know. I'm an athlete. I mean, that's the message that basically he's delivering. And he does so. He pushes the door open and boom, and you hear a thud, and she looks out and like, maybe I was hasty. Oh my gosh. So now she's starting to have eyes for this guy. Sure, he's a creeper stalker, but he nailed that landing. So there could be something here. Okay. Mm-hmm. What the hell is happening in this film? Don't ask us.
I mean, it was written by a guy who once wrote an episode of LA Law. So you can see how he was qualified to do this.
Now we get to the competition, finally. Yes, they actually run the pentathlon. And now his name is Eric Brogar in this. He's winning every event that he's in so far. Like they show what 3 or 4 events. He won them all. Swimming, boom, first. But they get to the last event. It's like, it is narrow. He's barely ahead by a point or two. It's like, what the hell's the scoring in this thing? He should have been smoking the field and just coasted to a gold medal. But it was like, oh, nail biter. And the last event was the marathon. Did not look Olympic in scale. I'll just say that. I think they shot most of the athletic stuff over at Pepperdine University.
Yeah,
I know
the swimming was.
Swimming was held there, but it looked like everything else too. I think even the protest later in the film could have been there. I actually was at Pepperdine, visited there a few years ago when I was in town. Very nice vista, overlooks the ocean. Can't imagine what the tuition is for that view, but we get intercut with the coach. He's very brusque. He's very pissed off all the time, despite the fact that Eric's winning everything. You need to do this. You need to win for the country. Get out there and do this. It's like, dude, I'm winning. Just look at the scoreboard, okay? Number 1, me. Shut up. Back off. Let me go creep on some Americans, and I'll go win the race tomorrow. Just give me some space. Give me a little breathing room here. So he wins the race, wins the gold. Big mystery. And he and his now, I got to ask a question because we see him. He's friends with a couple other teammates. I don't even know if we get their names. He just, pals around with them a little bit. They have conversations. But in that race, right before the finish line, didn't his teammate fall and die?
No. He talked about he had a heart attack because of the blood doping.
Yeah, he was because of all that. But it looked like he clutched his chest, and it wasn't like he stumbled. He fell down and rolled on his back and done. Everybody ran over him. Dolph wins, and we don't see anything else about this guy. It's just, it happens. That's why we run 3 guys, just in case of this kind of thing.
Well, it's the same guy that we see near the end of the film where he's fighting him.
I guess, but it's just odd and bizarre. It's just like, are we going to follow through on that? Because that looked kind of harsh. No, we're just moving on. So Dolph now he's got his gold medal. He's a hero, and he's got it in mind. I'm gonna beat Cheeks, and I'm gonna go to America. And makes his break for it in the village. Is running around. Security's chasing him around. He busts through a door onto a roof, and just before he jumps, they get a shot off after he throws a garbage can through a window. Hits him in the leg, but he still can hit the jump and land on top of a bus. And we get a foot chase scene where he's chasing down the USA bus wearing a USA jacket. His girl, the one that he's got his eye on, Julia, stop the bus, stop the bus. He gets on, and then they actually end up dragging one of the security guys. I love that scene.
And what's weird is they kept playing that portion. They played of it and they reference it the rest of the film because every time they show that guy for the rest of the movie, he's wearing a black glove on one hand like he's Luke Skywalker.
Well,
did you notice
what
that?
happened? Yeah, so Dolph Lundgren gets on the bus. The security guy reaches for him and they close the door on him and they drive away. So the arm would be the least affected part of him.
Well, and they drive away, but they're going down the tarmac. It's not like they're driving onto they're in Korea, so they're on the airport. Where are they going to go? That dude can't just when they open the doors, get off the bus. He can just get up. But the next scene is just this plane taking off, and you're like, how do they go from the bus to the plane with that big dude's arm stuck in the door?
Yeah, the plan worked, so I don't know how you could even criticize it, Paul. He made it to America. So he gets to the USA in Los Angeles, and you think, happy ending, right? Hell no. First thing they do is go visit his father, who's a biologist. mean head coach shows up with a couple of the security guys. They come into his hovel, push him around a little bit and talk brusquely, and then they beat the living tar out of him. And then the coach goes and sees a framed picture of Dolph Lundgren with his gold medal, and he takes it and he just holds it to his chest like it's his long lost son.
Well, and here's what doesn't make a whole lot of sense is like later we find out that they killed him there.
Mm-hmm.
But the dude didn't look dead when he left the room.
Well, yeah, they must have finished him off or something off camera. But yeah, he's dead. Now we go back to L.A., and Dolph Lundgren is in a bar, slugging beers, drunk, pissed off, angry. Apparently, he and Julia are a thing. She comes in wearing a sausage casing dress, looking pretty damn good, if you ask me, and he's having none of it. Grumble, grumble, blah, 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 and he's watching the Berlin Wall come falling down.
And that's the only time she's dressed like that in the entire movie. Like it's for some reason they've like made her super sensual and sexy. Walking into a dive bar, it wasn't like she was walking into a nightclub and he's sitting there, drinking his life away. It didn't make any sense, that whole choice of a wardrobe.
Yeah, it was like they were meeting there instead of being together. You would think they would be very tightly tied together since he just defected to the U.S. And so, no, but it's like, I'm going to Murphy's and go throw a beer at the television. You can meet me there if you want. I don't care. Blech. He's that mood.
You guys don't understand pain. It was kind of funny. Well, maybe it wasn't funny. This might have been the only serious part of the film where he was basically drinking away his regrets for defecting when he did, because just a year later, the Berlin Wall comes down and people can leave freely. And in order for him to defect, he had to lose his father and his best friend.
Yeah, I think it was, matter of timing all around. I lost Pops. Then the wall came down and I could have been there for that party. Instead, I'm sitting here drinking PBRs off Hollywood Boulevard somewhere. And then,
so I get that part of it. I get that. There's some regret there. They could have played more into the regret, I guess, and maybe made that the angle that he had to work through. But no.
Well, and this is how clunky the scene is. So he basically bitches and moans at the woman until she leaves. Big mistake, because all you're looking at is a bunch of 50-year-old drunks around you. Stands up, throws a beer mug through a TV, curses everyone out, and he's about to leave, which, I'm sorry, that's what you want in this situation. Get your ass out of here. It's like portly 5'2", 60-year-old guy is like, wait a second, you're not going anywhere. What does this guy think he's doing?
Yeah, who's he stopping?
He was half a Dolph Lundgren.
And he was and Dolph was leaving.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what do you want him to stay for? What? Is there more stuff to break? What? No, let him go. You want him there and then gone. And so Lundgren hauls off on him and stumbles out. And then we get a taste of the ramshackle lifestyle of him. He's living in a squatter's apartment, trundles his way to go work at a Greasy Spoon diner. Operated. I'm really curious about this casting. Owned and operated by Kreese, who's Roger Mosley, who drove the helicopter.
TC.
Yep. TC, the helicopter pilot from Magnum PI.
Higgy, baby.
And this was right around the same time it was on, wasn't it?
Magnum PI, yeah, I think it was running in the mid-'80s. Had 8 seasons?
So this is the best he could do. But he's this is what I can't figure out. This is literally like a corner dive diner. We only ever see him make hamburgers on a grill or eat ribs, but the menu, both on the wall inside and on the outside, tacos, chorizos, burritos. So I can only assume they borrowed a Mexican restaurant for this movie.
But then the sign on the inside says ribs, pork butt, chicken.
Well, that was the one that they hung. Yeah, the one. But there's other scenes like when they're sitting in the chairs and stuff. The menu on the wall is the same thing. It's tacos and burritos and Mexican food. I had questions, but I didn't want to delve into them. Probably better not to. Also, probably better not to eat at this place.
But and he's on the phone talking to somebody at the beginning saying, well, you know, I had to hire a white boy to work in this restaurant for some reason because he's a good cook, or I gave him a chance. Like,
no, he's not. Whoever's on the phone, I think, is the one that wanted to hire him, because all he's doing is bitching about Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, is that what he's doing?
Yeah, because he's like, I don't know why I got a white guy in here, and he never shows up, and he makes crap like that, and he bitches all the time, and I should fire. I don't know why you got me working with him. And then he barks at him. He's like, you got to come in on time. You got to stop watching your TV. You got
stop drinking your beer.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, this is really rock bottom. He's seeing the seedy underbelly after defecting to the United States. Just saying. So, yeah, there's this dynamic going on. And then after all of this, he's like, okay, I'm going to trust you to lock up.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we get this piece of wisdom from Kreese. Ma'am, running a business is like going up a mountain on a pogo stick.
Yeah, that was it was a weird line.
Put that on a t-shirt. And you might sell a dozen. But then we have the, I don't know, sad scene, I guess. Lundgren's got this little portable television with like a 6-inch screen, black and white. He gets, I can't say mugged. It's like 3 teenagers start accosting him, and they play keep away with his television until it breaks.
Well, the dude climbs up a fence. They're all Chinese, or they could be Korean. I don't know. I'm sorry. And one of them climbs a fence. It's like midway up this fence, and he's having this conversation like a monkey, looking back at him. Like, that's how he's intimidating him, is climbing up a fence and talking smack.
I guess, but yeah, the TV gets broken. He gets home and he's all. The next day, Kreese comes over to his house where he's not and wants to see if he's, I don't know, fire him or something, bring him his last paycheck. And then he finds, well, in a drunken haze of remembrance, Lundgren had pulled out a box and it's got his gold medal and the magazine cover he was on. Kreese finds this the next day and comes to realize what he's got working under his roof. An Olympian.
A pentathlete. Pentathlist.
And he's looking at this and says, I'm going to get him to the Olympics.
Right. And then he goes and finds him, and he's at a track. It's like a little dirt track somewhere, and he's running with his old shoes on. And
well, yeah, I don't even know how he found him, because he probably just said, well, he's a pentathlete. Of course he's over at the high school gym track.
Yeah, he just went to the only track in the LA ghetto.
And Eric is out there on the track. He tries running for a while, but he keeps clutching his leg. I'm guessing from the gunshot wound. And he gets so pissed off and frustrated, he whips his shoes off and throws them away.
Into the only trash. Did you see that trash can? I don't know why I noticed this stupid crap. This big, bright yellow trash can on this dirt track. Yeah. It's
brand new with a garbage bag.
Brand new.
We're going to start recycling Monday, kids, I guess. But Kreese sees this and comes to a realization and says, no, son, we're going to do this. And leave me alone. I want nothing to do with you. Let me go make my burgers. Which, I'm sorry, burnt to a point of being inedible every single time.
Oh, it looked like a Steak and Shake burger.
I mean,
Smash
damn.
burger.
It's like I couldn't even play hockey with this thing. But then Kreese has a surprise for him one day. He's like, yeah, turn off the grill. We're going to step outside, lock it up, sit on the stoop. Apparently he went shopping, but they didn't have store bags there. So he's got his newly gained wares in a hefty bag.
Like it's a jammed up hefty bag.
What the hell?
It's not even a new hefty bag. It's like all wrinkled and like used.
So they sit down and he's like, here, this is for you. Tiger Asics gel. And he's like, this is going to get you back on the road. And guess what else I got? And he pulls out a box and he's like, well, these are my shoes. Tiger Asics, but not gel.
Why would he just walk? Why do you even need a bag? Why wouldn't you just walk up with 2 boxes of shoes?
I'm unclear.
Why wouldn't you give them to him in the store? Hey, look what I got you. I got you a little something. Better yet, hey, come out to my car. I got something I want to show you. You know, here's a pair of shoes. Like,
so this is kicking things off to the road of recovery for Eric. He is going to make it to, well, as we pointed out, not the next Olympiad, but the one after that, I guess, by running on a high school track. And he's swimming, and Kreese is there running beside him on the deck, and, you know, get your elbows up, heels out of the water, rah, rah, rah. I read all this in a magazine once, so now I'm a coach. I mean, all Eric had to do is like, listen, dude, I've been training for this for 6 years already. You run a Mexican diner that serves ribs. Let me handle this. But no, Kreese is going to push him over back into international athleticism. I didn't see a lot of horse training scenes.
the only reason the horse was included is because I think they wouldn't include it later in the film for with his girlfriend's dad's California mountain place that had horses in it.
Yeah, I guess they could probably only rent the horses for a day, so we got to do this all together. But that comes to pass. And then there's a fencing qualifying competition. He's squaring off. Julia and Eric have had a falling out, and she's now hooked up with another fencer at this competition. This Olympic qualifier held in the back lot of Los Angeles somewhere.
Is it traditional to do your fencing outdoors?
No, not at all. Like in Paris right now, they're fencing inside a museum. Like they've retrofitted a museum to be a fencing arena. And it's like the most popular event going over there right now too. But they're, and I mean, if you know anything about fencing, and let's face it, I do, you know, between the epi and the saber, what's the third one? There's another one too. Foil. Boom. Foil. See, told you. And they're out there fencing. They square off. He touches the guy one time, and that's it. He's going to the Olympics. Well, no, you've got like layers and you've got a basically first plate of 15, but you have layers of contest to go through. No, let's square off. On guard. Tap. He's going to Atlanta. Okay. That's at least we'd have to sit through 25 minutes of epi qualifying. Thank you, movie. And eventually he does qualify for the Olympics. Or does he?
Good for
because
him.
Now we flash back to what used to be East Germany. After the fall of the wall, the former coach now has become, I don't know if this is a natural progression of things, but now he's a hardcore Nazi.
Neo-Nazi, yes.
Neo-Nazi supremacist. Now, I didn't understand this scene. He goes into a meeting where some skinheads are gathered, and there's no shortage of swastika flags on the wall. And he's like, listen, okay, you're going to be with me now. I need you. We do this. And then guys show up with guns and just start shooting the place up.
Those are the police. That's the sound of the police. They just showed up and just opened fire, like with
Like, no
sub-automatic
questions asked.
machine guns.
Not like get against the wall or we'll shoot us. No, it's like kick the door open. Prow, prow.
Like, we will look here. We hate Nazism and fascism so much that we're going to openly Nazi fascism you as we take you down.
Yeah, I want to make it clear, Paul and myself are by no means pro-Nazi here.
No,
I'm just saying we have police protocols in this country. I don't know about the Reformation of Germany. Maybe they threw a few things aside. What do I know? Hey, they're Nazis. What are you going to do? Shoot first, ask questions later. When I go and deal with Nazis, I want to soften the room first. So I come in firing, then we see what's going to play out. Makes sense. I didn't really see much develop off of this scene outside of the one guy became part of his crew, like one of his henchmen as a result of this. Is that the read?
I think so. I couldn't figure this out. The whole scene didn't make sense. I mean, you can show that he's still very much committed to the DDR without like this scene. This scene didn't make any sense because it didn't go anywhere. Essentially, this fellow wants to bring back East Germany.
Well, I think he went further. I think he was looking more Weimar Republic here. Because he was just, he's like, that's it. No more pledging a flag. We're going all the way. Neo-Nazi Heil Hitler, we're doing this. And he's the one guy, he was like intimidating, the one skinhead. And he's looking at him. He's like, you're going to be with me now. And he leans over and kisses him on the head. I would not do that. No. I don't see any part of a skinhead you want. That and Juggalo is two things you want to keep your lips off of by all shit. But that's you. I'm not a German, so what do I know? And the cops shoot the place up, but then we find out there's a plan. These Germans are going to Los Angeles. Did they ever establish how they knew Eric was in LA?
No. That was never confirmed.
Or was it because of the guy in the German that owned the restaurant that they met at? I think he did say something like Eric was there, but we never saw that before they bought the tickets and flew to California.
Well, and we don't find out that he knows Eric's in town because the guy goes, "You knew he was here." He said, "No, he's only been to my club once when it opened." Mm-hmm. Like, why would this beat up, downtrodden, homeless bum essentially come to your well-established nightclub?
Yeah, it's not like he owns a suit. Okay, he's flipping burgers in a tank top, but he's going to go to the fanciest German nightclub in town that just opened up. But this is also what I didn't understand. What was the plan for the neo-Nazi Germans to fly to California and find Eric? Why? Did they ever come close to establishing something?
Nope. They did not.
So, I don't. I was like, are you here by accident or intentional? Because either way, what in the living hell are you doing here? And the only thing I can piece together was this peace conference that was being held. But what was that going to do?
It was a weird peace conference too. What was it called? Never Again. And there were like 7 people. There were more people there than a Kamala Harris rally.
Well, I think they tried to dress this up as like a massive national event, except they didn't shoot it that way because they were too far back. We could see there was like 10 rows of chairs and 2/3 filled. But we're led to believe this is a massive international thing because they have all these TV news crews now they track down Eric and he and Julia have reconciled. So, and Julia's dad cracked me up. This guy had like 5 lines in the movie, and boy, he was going to deliver them.
All of them.
So, like, right after the fencing tournament where he won with one touch, he meets Julia. He's like, "Hey, Julia, I'm that guy from that thing that I'm not creeping on people anymore, but I'm doing it in parking lots now, so it's much safer. So you and I should get back together. Hey, here's my dad. Dad, here's the guy that won the gold medal I was telling you about." It's like, "There you go. You're a big guy. Hey, I got to go, have a hooch in the car. Hey."
It was so weird.
This guy is like, his name had to be Shecky. That's the only thing I can assume, because he just had this vaudeville feel about him. Like, "You fence. Hey, my daughter fences too, but don't let me catch you jumping the fence. Know what I mean? Hey, okay. I got to go have a snort over in the car. Oh, whoa, pow, 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 pow."
A snort.
So he and Julie are reconciling now, becoming a thing once again. The Germans track down Eric's hovel. They're in Los Angeles somehow. I guess the 5-star German restaurant is right down the road from Skid Row. "Hey, I saw him take out the garbage the other night. We should go get him." So they bust into place, but he's gone because he's holed up with his woman out in the woods, out in the sticks. And they got horses and all kinds of such. And they're talking about training. They're talking about the next Olympics. And Paul, gosh darn it, they're falling in love.
They are falling in love. She works out with who she wants to work out with. That's what she says. Those are her words.
Well, there you go. That's about as good a single entendre as you're going to get when you're a pentathlete. So let's just say it. He's in. And she's flouncing around the place in Daisy Dukes and a bikini top. So naturally, the first thing they do, go out in the woods so they could bump uglies.
No. You missed the whole, you left out the whole running on the beach thing where they first tried to assassinate him. That's how he knows that they're even in the United States.
Oh, right.
Remember, yeah. the big giant hunk, what is he? The big East German is on a bicycle holding a pistol.
That scene made I completely blocked that scene out because there's just
and he sidekicks the bicycle.
Oh, this thing was so.
And the whole beach, he takes one shot and the whole beach loses its mind. The dude takes one. It's LA. They are used to hearing gunshots. And this dude shoots one time and the whole place just loses its absolute mind.
Well, we got to set this up properly. Yeah, you're right. I completely, as they say in California, I flaked. So, yeah, he and the girl are jogging along the beach path. And then we cut to, this is the guy that got dragged by the bus in Germany. He's now on a bike with a black jacket, wraparound sunglasses with rainbow mirror reflection, a hat. Everybody is dressed in bikinis and Speedos. This guy is wearing about 3 layers of polyester.
He looks
like he
looks like a JCPenney's ad.
A catalog ad from 1983.
Yes.
I mean, it's all neon colors on him. Like, at the time, he's supposed to blend in, but at the same time, he's the only jackass on the beach dressed this way. Like, most guys don't even have shirts on. He looks like he's going to go have a rap spin-off somewhere. It's a dance-off. It's a dance-off. That's me. So DDR Hammer on his bike is rolling up on the duo, and he's got his gun on the handlebars. Now, I don't know why he never got the shot off, but somehow Dolph Lundgren was able to pick him out of the crowd. Hits the front tire. Yeah.
He sidekicks it.
The
dude's riding right at him with the bicycle. He sidekicks it.
Hits him in the front tire. He goes ass over teacups into the sand. Pulls a gun. Now, Dolph Lundgren runs away in a straight line, open area. This guy cannot. I swear to God, has to be a stormtrooper. Clear line of sight, 6 feet away. All he's hitting is sand and a garbage can.
And Lundgren, all he's doing, his giant, big old body, all he's doing he's holding his hands up and covering up his shoulders for protection.
It's like, how do you miss a 6'4" Swede on Los Angeles beach right in front of you? But he does, thank God. So he gets away, and this necessitates their need to go shack up in the cabin. Now, we have what has to be, I think, the dumbest scene in the movie. Well, silliest scene, maybe. One of the German henchmen pays a visit to the diner.
Yeah. Yes. This scene is so out of place.
One of the guys is outside apparently tapping the phone line. So this little runt, this is the skinhead who's now grown a goatee because he's serious business, I guess. He comes in to order food. Big ghetto blaster is on the counter. And he puts on the most obnoxious R&B rap hip hop song and loud. And Grease is like, dude, what are you doing on my radio? Love this song. And this little shrunken German guy starts beatboxing, like dancing wildly. He's waiting for his food.
Like nutso dancing.
And I'm piecing it together. It's like, okay, he's doing this to distract from the guy outside, I suppose. Except one of the camera angles showing him dancing like a damn fool, you could see the other guy through the window.
Just walking by. What are they? Like,
but it's like you're not
the line, I guess, to what?
To learn the whereabouts of Eric, I think. So
hi. Well, that's what I do when I call you, Brad. I go, hey, Brad, this is Paul. I'm speaking to you from here's my home address. Yes. Like, what's tapping the line do? If you're just listening to the conversation and the person doesn't tell you where they are.
Yeah. It's like, hey, Paul, you haven't been in work for a couple days. Where you been? 28.06 degrees west, 47.02 north. And I'm with my girlfriend. We're going to go ride horses, and then we're going to go bang in the posies out there on the hill. And don't tell anybody, by the way.
And her dad would be the only one home, and he's cooking in the kitchen.
So that's why we have to go screw outside. But
I'll be on horseback.
I just had to laugh because we're watching this guy gyrate like a damn fool, and over his shoulder through the window, we could see his buddy tapping the phone line. It's like, no, you're supposed to do your distraction 180 degrees from the guy you want to distract from, you dumb skinhead. But oh well, he's still on probation. He's got his 90 days, hasn't been up yet. So we'll have to forgive him, I guess. Points off, more training. That's my guess. But nonetheless, I think the training worked because they figured out where they're at. And the Germans show up. And at this point, I have no idea what the hell's going on anymore. Like, what are they doing? Why are they doing it? Kreese is on horseback. They shoot him. And he goes, holy hell, does he go downhill? I mean, bouncing and rolling. This guy's got to be dead. Spoiler alert, he's not. One of the henchmen, the guy with the glove, of course, they're at a cabin in the middle of the woods. Thank God they had a couple of eppies there so they could sword fight in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
Because
why do they bring those eppies with them? Well, I guess maybe he was training. He's using them to train. Because doesn't he and TC at one point, TC's hiding in a tree with a foil, and then that's how he's training him. It's like a scene from Austin Powers, where what's his name? No, that's not Austin Powers. What is that? The Pink Panther?
Pink Panther, when he breaks in and he's to attack him.
Yes, he's just ready to randomly attack him. That's what that scene felt like. Is him just jumping out of a tree randomly and then going on guard. They start fighting in the woods with swords.
Yeah, and I don't think Kreese has ever done this before, so I'm doubtful that his training is too effective. But and this is like those sword fights where you're really not trying to hit the other guy, you're trying to hit his sword.
Yeah.
And even when he was going with the henchman in the kitchen and such, the guy would hold the sword above his head and Dolph Lundgren would hit it instead of just running him through. It's like, dude, he's exposed. Hit that's a point right there. But now they, slap. It gets him against a tree, and then the old coach shows up and fires a gun through his henchman. Why? I didn't. What? And he's got the gun drawn on Eric, but doesn't shoot him. Any idea?
He wants to kill him. But he doesn't. He wants to kill him, but he doesn't want to kill him. He wants him to be his, but nobody else's. It's like an obsessed love story. If I can't have you, she can't have you. If I can't have you, she can't. That's the way this portion of the story felt. But it didn't make sense because his whole point was to bring him back to East Germany that he wanted to revive and then force him to compete in the Olympics again.
I don't know. Did he ever announce that? Because I almost got the sense of like, well, if you won't compete for Germany, you won't compete for anybody. But he doesn't stop him. So it's like, okay, you shot your henchman for no reason. It wasn't even one of those, that cliche where they shoot one of their bad guys to make a point to the guy they really want to kill. And I liked him, that old line. None of that. They were fencing. He had the guy against a tree, and Mueller, this is the coach, pulls a gun up and shoots him right through in the back, kills him. And now you're coming with me. I was like, why? What? No, you want him dead. And just kill him already, or kill me, so I don't have to watch the rest of this movie because I'm at a loss. So instead, they shackle him, throw him in a van so they can go to the peace rally. They're posing as a German television crew.
The GNN, German News Network.
Well, I think it was GCN, wasn't it? Maybe German cable news.
Oh, I don't know.
They all had snappy jackets with matching logos, so they're well funded. I'm just going to say it. And basically, they get in by sheer force of will. Like they go up to one gate. It's like, we're the camera crew from Germany. We have to get in there now. You're not on the list. Well, we still have to shoot because we're on a deadline. Open the gate.
Yeah, the guy's pretty good. The security guard's like, no, I'm sorry, I can't let you in. You're not on any of the lists. He's like, you don't understand. The ambassador's there, and I have to be here for the whole world to see. You have to know. So get out of my way. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't let you in. There's no way you're gonna make it through me. He's like, well, I guess you don't like your job. And the guy looks in the van and goes, okay, I'll let you in this one. So I still got to clear you. What?
Yeah, we have to get in there or Germany will not see the peace rally. Like, I give a shit, okay? I'm on minimum wage and I got dental. That's my concern in life. I don't care what Germany sees your little rally. But anyway, and this is, the way they get everything done. Just go ahead and move that barricade aside. We have to get in there. And then every step of the way, they're at another guard doing something they're not supposed to do, and they just insist on it. We're going to go shoot up on top of that rail. No, nobody's cleared up here. Well, we have to shoot it. There's a misunderstanding. We are shooting there. Okay, but I got to call it in.
Yeah. What's in this thing? It's a microphone. It's just a microphone. He goes, I'm going to need you to see it. And he says, see microphone. And it's a bazooka.
Yeah, he takes the cap off of this thing, and it's a 5-foot long microphone because this is a rocket launcher. This is how we listen in Germany, you see. German cable news. Did you see my jacket? We do this. It's a parabolic microphone, geosynchronous orbit. I have to broadcast from balcony. And then later on, the same guy comes back. He's like, I just checked, and you guys are not cleared at all.
I'm calling somebody.
And Mueller then finds the broadcast van. And it's the same thing once again. No, you can't go in there. But I'm German cable news, you see, so I'm going to go in there. You're not allowed in there. You're not on the list. You don't understand. I have to get in there. Okay, I'll call it in. Go ahead.
I'll go ahead and do what you need to do. I'll check back with you later.
Okay. So he's in there. We're watching these people up on stage. They're outside. There's a banner. There's 3 dozen folding chairs, a couple of balloons here and there. This is the International Peace Rally that's going to save the world. 36 people in attendance, including press.
There was nobody there.
So, God, I love this movie. Mueller's in the production van now. The director, got to say, kind of progressive of the movie. A female blonde director.
Mm-hmm.
They're ahead of their time. Or more likely she was one of the producers. But hey, I was giving credit where it's due. And she's not taking his guff. So he's like, no, you'll have to do this. Get this camera off the stage. Don't talk to the rabbi. And then you have to run this tape. She's like, I'm not doing any of that. I'm busy. Give it a day. And she kind of starts to come around to his way of thinking after he caps 2 of the guards.
Yeah. Blam, blam.
Well, then, maybe you will play tape now. She's like, yes, I think maybe I'll play tape now. And this is the plan. She puts a tape in, and it's him on camera, blue screen, ranting and railing about Nazism.
Which I thought totally would work.
Let me tell you, when you have an international peace conference and a Nazi gets up on video with his manifesto, let me just say, hearts are changing quick. Wait a second. Jews. I'm kind of sick of them myself. This guy, I want to give this guy some airtime. Hang on, please, turn that down. I'm listening to the neo-Nazi here. This guy's got ideas. Listen to me.
Just hear me out.
Let's give him 5 minutes. Okay. Construct ovens. Got it. Trains necessary. What else? What else we got to do here? Because I'm on board. This guy is, man, I'm telling you, Tony Robbins got nothing on this one.
Making a lot of sense.
The Jews kill the planet and therefore we kill Jews. This is the plan. We must do this. Sold.
Play the tape.
Sold. Where were you in my Amway days? I could have used some of this. Damn it.
And everybody must compete in the pentathlon.
So this is the plan. Now back in the van.
Oh, Eric, by the way, he's going to assassinate the Jewish leader with a bazooka. It's not even a rocket launcher; it's a straight up bazooka, and he's not trying to like sniper him. It's a bazooka with a rocket.
Well, Paul, why use a scalpel when you could use a sledgehammer?
I guess so.
Yeah, this is a rabbi, we're told, is an international peacekeeper of some sort. I guess that's he needs to die. We need to play this tape, and we'll convert the world to Nazism. Thusly, is the plan. This is going to shock everybody listening. You might want to sit down for this little twist. His plan goes awry.
What?
I'm as shocked as anybody else. I've thought this was ironclad at this point.
There's no way.
I was shopping. I was on Amazon sizing jodhpurs during his speech. That's how convinced I was that this was going to work.
Wow.
Do they have knee-high boots in a size 13? No, black ones, shiny. Put him in the cart.
I'm blown away. I thought that would work.
Me too, but no, it didn't. Security got the upper hand. Gunshots are fired. The Peace conference turned violent. People are scrambling, running around, and Mueller gets away, Paul. Mueller got away.
What? How? They planned everything so precisely.
I was convinced that they were going to get him win. In the van, Eric got the upper hand on the midget skinhead. Even though his hands are bundled, he got the gun free, smashed the guy, and then jumped through the roof of the van. You heard me correctly, folks.
And that is how he broke free of his bonds, by the way, is when he jumped through the plexiglass. I guess it ripped the zip tie off his hands. Did you notice that? He was zip tied going through the window, and when he landed, zip tie was only on one hand.
Well, the judges give you extra points for that. So yeah, I think you get I think they give you an extra 0.5 if you can pull that maneuver off and the landing, which he did. But Mueller did get away. However, this did not detract from Eric's dream of going back to the Olympics, because Eric went back to the Olympics in the pentathlon, which he was in the lead once again for the final race. He's cutting. Did you see the one guy in this race? He had, well, the weird thing is, I mean, the pentathlon, the running aspect, I think, is a kilometer or two. They're usually in a bunch. They're all spread out.
They have condensed it to 3 kilometers. It used to be a 5K.
Okay. But even so, you want the inside track as much as possible. These guys are running wide. And the one on the outside, there was a blonde guy. He could not stop smiling. He was beaming like, son of a bitch, I'm in a movie. Can you believe this? I'm in a fucking movie.
What your mom sees me.
I'm on the outside, Ma. Blue shirt. It's like, yeah, I know. You had bleach spiked hair. We could see you. But Eric manages to win, but Mueller's in the stands.
What?
And
he's so disheveled. Like, he's wearing his old DDR outfit, like the light blue, but it looks like it's been drugged through the sewer.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know where he got this from. He's in Los Angeles, and this wasn't the plan to begin with. This is, plan D going on here. So he's got some 8-year-old tracksuit from the DDR in the stands, and he comes stumbling down to the track. Because why would we have security at the Olympics? No need for that. Pulls out a gun, and he's aiming it at Eric as he crosses the finish line. Just before he gets the shot off, though, Julia picked up on what's happening, hits him, and then Eric crosses the line, and the first thing he does is tackle Mueller. Like, I don't know how he had situational awareness of this level, but he did, because he's an Olympian. Takes him down. They tackle Eric to the ground for some reason. Bad guy to the ground. Then Mueller scrambles to get the gun, a cop's gun, I guess. Or somehow there's 2 guns all of a sudden. But remember, Paul.
Oh, it was the cop's gun. The cop comes over and tries to hold him hostage.
But Eric is a pentathlete. What's one of the disciplines?
Horse riding.
What's one of the other disciplines?
Swimming.
I'll just say it. Pistol shooting.
Pistol shooting. I missed it. I forgot all about that one.
And it comes into play right here. And Eric gets the beat on him, and Mueller is rendered, and Eric wins twice within a minute.
They should have gone and done this film with the original ancient Greek ones, so that at the end of the film, he either like beams him with a discus or like stabs him through the head with a javelin. Like, see, that's what we're talking about.
Javelin kill would be kick-ass.
Javelin kill would be the fantastic name for a 90s action movie.
And not up close either. You want a guy to be like on the other side of the stadium. He's like, see him? Do you see him?
His name is and his name is Burt Javelin, and he's a cop without rules. He's here to clean up the streets of Omaha.
Back at the
Burt
precinct, they
Javelin.
call him the lawn dart.
He's got a new rookie partner, and he can't stand him. He doesn't get along. He's got an overbearing wife and a boss who doesn't understand how the street's gonna get cleaned up.
He's going from Olympic gold to cold hard lead.
Treat Williams is Javelin kills. I would watch that movie. I might go. When we get done with this, I might go find The Substitute and watch that with Treat Williams.
And catch the sequel, The Death Cathlete.
Oh my gosh, that would be the horror film. Death Cathlete, and everybody dies like that's competing in a decathlon. And it's the mom of one of the competitors trying to get rid of all the other competition so that her boy can win. Mom, why did you do this? I can win on my own.
Yeah, this is our guy, all right. The body had a medal placed around its neck.
We're off the rails, Brad. We're off the rails.
It's what these movies do. They inspire us. Well, that was the, I guess, climax of this movie. He wins, he shoots, he kills, roll credits. Like, we literally finished the movie with Dolph Lundgren laying in the dust and grime of the racetrack. Yay, movie.
Yay, movie. That is how it ends, isn't it? There's no after scene.
No, it's like a close-up of him with the gun drawn, and then it's like starring Dolph Lundgren in his first movie role. Also, that guy from that cop show and that other guy from that other cop show.
Burt Javelin.
But you can find this one over, I got it over at YouTube.
Yeah, I got it on Prime.
Oh, did you? Okay. They're available on both.
Only because I didn't have my YouTube account set up for payments.
No, I think there's a free version.
Oh, well, I paid $3.99.
Oh, you sucker. But yeah, anybody listening, head over to YouTube. Put in Pentathlon 1994.
And then afterwards, put in Golden Girl and watch that one.
Well, no, you got another YouTube recommendation, don't you?
What?
Dolph Lundgren singing.
Oh my gosh, yes. Just Google Dolph Lundgren singing. It is
Paul cursed me with
best.
this afternoon. My phone chirps and he's like, oh my God, you got to see this. I don't even know what this was. Swedish talent show of some sort, maybe.
It's from 2014. Know. It's recent.
Well, it's 10 years out, but I don't like it can't be Find a New Star because he's already an international star, but it's like they must have had some competition where it was, celebrities with other talents. And Dolph Lundgren does not have a talent for singing.
Bro has 160 IQ, like measured. He has a measured 160 IQ.
He's like a microbiologist or something, doesn't he? He's got a master's degree in some kind of advanced physics.
No, it's chemistry. I think he's got MIT.
Yeah, he's like whip smart, which isn't fair because, I mean, he's built like a god and rich as hell and smart. You son of a bitch, knock it off. Share the wealth is all I'm saying. But yeah, this one, this is fun. I like this one because it was just so bizarre.
It really was.
I mean, for a movie called Pentathlon, there really wasn't a lot of pentathlon-ish action in it.
Pentathlon.
And
gotta have a high amount of pentatholism in it.
The international intrigue, I guess. Romance, technically.
Yeah, the music is top notch.
Yeah, this is his 1980s Casio Gold right there. And yeesh. But yeah, go to YouTube, drop this in and have some fun because it's wow. The nascent point of Dolph Lundgren's acting career.
Oh, there's more. We could do an entire year of like just Dolph Lundgren films. He could be the new Gerard Butler.
I did. He was in, what was that? Johnny Mnemonic.
Yes, where he was like in love with a doped up dolphin.
He was a street preacher. So this means we had a movie. Yeah, they had a dolphin that would be able to see things because they were giving it hallucinogenics. So we had a movie with Dolph Lundgren and a drugged dolphin.
The drugged dolphin, by the way, is where he was drinking at the beginning of this movie.
I believe it. There you go. So that's pentathlon. That's our Olympic entree for the week. Check it out on YouTube. Pentathlon 1994. Have fun with it. As much as we did. I recommend it. All right, Paul. Why don't you let people know where they can go find more of your content?
Still running around with the zitter at Movie Paul. And that's about it at the moment. I work too much. I worked 16 hours last night, slept for 3.5, came over here and did this show with you.
You're not right.
I know.
And I'm talking about doing this show. That's what I'm here. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? As for myself, you can check me out daily. I'm over at townhall.com with a media column there referred to as Rift from the Headlines. I'm also a regular on the front page Red State, where I also got my twice weekly media podcast called Liable Sources. And you can hear more of me on this very network here at KLRN next Thursday. I alternate by sitting in with Ordy Packard as he and I guide you through the important entertainment news on the culture shift. And Tuesday night, here with the other episode every weekend. In a cocktail lounge, whether we do all kinds of sports, cooking, art, you name it, we cover it and have fun doing so over cocktails. And if you need more of me than that, and let's face it, you do, head over to Jitter. I am at Martini Shark. Paul and I will be back in two weeks, right? You're going to be available?
2 weeks, yep.
Okay. I got to check because your schedule's so fluid.
I'm on this schedule now with that I'm currently on with Thursday nights off for until the middle of September.
Look at this consistency.
I know.
You're throwing curveballs at me with all your being regular. What am I going to do? All right. Well, that means we'll be back here in a fortnight with more cinematic messes from Hollywood on Disasters in the Making.
Satisfaction in me. A little more bite, a little less bark, a little less fight, a little more spark. Close your mouth and open up your heart, baby. Satisfy me, baby. Come on, baby, I'm tired of talking.
Say goodnight, Gracie.